ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Continuation to the last class. Definitely Entamoeba histolytica by secreting histolysin enzyme onto the large intestinal wall that damages the large intestinal tissue in our body. Due to that reason, the species name is given as the Entamoeba histolytica. Definitely this Entamoeba histolytica is monogenetic parasite. It is the histozoic parasite. It is the enterozoic parasite. Again, it is the cosmopolitan parasite. Then what is the monogenetic parasite? Entamoeba histolytica complete its entire life cycle in humans only. Entamoeba histolytica complete its entire life cycle in humans only. So that only that is said to be as the monogenetic parasite. Definitely it complete entire life cycle in the man or in the humans only. So that only it is said to be as the monogenetic parasite. Then it is the histozoic parasite. Definitely Entamoeba histolytica lives in tissues of large intestine in our body. Definitely in tissues of large intestine. In our body, in the large intestine, whatever the tissues which are present in the tissues that may be live. So that only that is said to be as the histozoic parasite. Definitely in the large intestine of our body there are two principal portions. In our large intestine two portions are present. One is the colon. Second one is the rectum. These two are the parts of large intestine. Definitely in the tissues of the colon, in the tissues of the rectum, Entamoeba histolytica live. So that only that is said to be as the histozoic parasite. Again it is the enterozoic. Definitely large intestine is the part of the alimentary canal. Large intestine is the part of the gut. Large intestine is the part of the digestive system. So that only in alimentary canal, in gut, if any parasite is live, then we can say that is the enterozoic parasite. Definitely Entamoeba histolytica lives in the large intestine. Entamoeba histolytica lives in the tissues of the large intestine in our body. So that only it is said to be as the enterozoic parasite. It is the cosmopolitan parasite. Means it distributed throughout the country if it distributed all areas of world. Definitely this kind of the disease is not only appears in India. This disease may be appeared in the Russia, may be appeared in the China, may be appeared in the America, may be appeared in the Australia. Definitely throughout the world, in all areas of the people, if this kind of the disease is appeared, then that is said to be as the cosmopolitan disease. This parasite is the cosmopolitan parasite. Definitely Entamoeba histolytica may be appeared in all areas of the persons in the world. This is appears in Indian persons, this is appears in Australian persons, this is appears in American persons, this is appears in African persons. Whatever it may be, throughout the world, in all areas of the person, if this kind of the disease appears, then that is said to be as the cosmopolitan parasite. That is the cosmopolitan disease. Though in all areas this Entamoeba histolytica is commonly appear, but it is more common. It is more commonly appears in tropical and subtropical countries. Definitely, though this kind of the Entamoeba histolytica appears throughout world, but it is very commonly appears in the case of the tropical and subtropical countries. Tropical means where the temperature is above average, that is said to be as the tropical. Where the temperature is average, that is said to be as the subtropical. Definitely if the temperature is above average, that country is said to be as the tropical country. If the temperature is average, then it is said to be as the subtropical. If temperature is below average, that is said to be as the temperate. Definitely tropical means tropical country means where the temperature is above average. Again subtropical countries where the temperature is average. Temperate countries where the temperature is below average. In that way, definitely Entamoeba histolytica, though it is distributed throughout the world, though it is appears throughout the world in all areas of the world, but very commonly appears in tropical and subtropical countries where the unhygienic conditions are common, where the hygiene is not there, where the population is more density, where the unhygienic conditions are very common. In such areas, among the people, this Entamoeba histolytica spreads very fastly from person to person. Definitely, where the unhygienic conditions are there, where the more and more population is there, definitely in such areas, this Entamoeba histolytica spread from person to person very fastly. Definitely, this Entamoeba histolytica spread from person to person through contamination of food and water. Mode of infection. How that kind of the Entamoeba histolytica spread from person to person, what is the method means? Through the contamination of food and water. This entamoeba histolytica spread from person to person very fastly. Means whenever the infective stage of the entamoeba is added to the food material or added to the drinking water, definitely whenever the persons ingest that food, whenever the persons drink that water which are with the infective stages of entamoeba, that food and water is said to be as the contamination of food and water. Means contamination of food and water means, for example, what is the infective stage? Infective stage of entamoeba means tetranucleate cyst. Tetranucleate cyst is infective stage of the entamoeba. Tetranucleate cyst means 4 nuclei if they are present, around to them cyst wall is present, then that is said to be as the tetranucleate cyst. Definitely this is the cyst wall. These are the 4 daughter nuclei. If the 4 daughter nuclei are present inside of the cyst, then that is said to be as the tetranucleate cyst. Tetranucleate cyst is infective stage of entamoeba into the healthy person. Infective stage means what form of the entamoeba is entered into the healthy person to cause the disease is said to be as the infective stage. Definitely infective stage of the entamoeba histolytica is tetranucleate cyst. Whenever these tetranucleate cysts are added to the food or added to the drinking water, then that food and water is said to be as the contamination of food and water. If this tetranucleate cyst is added to the food and water due to any reason or by whatever the factors, through whatever the means or methods, if this tetranucleate cyst is added to the food and water, then that food and water is said to be as the contamination of food and water. Whenever the persons ingest that contaminated food, whenever the persons drinks that contaminated water, through the contaminated food and water, tetranucleate cysts are entered into the new person's body. In that way, definitely mode of infection is by the contamination of food and water, and infective stage of the entamoeba histolytica is tetranucleate cyst. In few cases, house flies, cockroaches or acts as mechanical vectors. Mechanical vectors for entamoeba histolytica spreading from person to person. Definitely this kind of the house flies as well as the cockroaches also play a greater role in transferring of tetranucleate cyst from person to person. So they are acts as the mechanical vectors. Then what is the disease which is caused by the entamoeba histolytica? What is the disease which is caused by the entamoeba histolytica? Means amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery or intestinal amoebiasis or trophical amoebiasis. Definitely due to the infection of the entamoeba histolytica, Finally, whatever the disease which is causes to our body is the amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery or intestinal amoebiasis or the trophical amoebiasis disease. That is nothing but simply amoebiasis. Definitely disease which is caused by the entamoeba finally is nothing but amoebiasis or the amoebic dysentery or the intestinal amoebiasis or the trophical amoebiasis disease. Next, what is the life history? What are the stages which may be appears in the life history of the entamoeba histolytica? Definitely stages of entamoeba histolytica. Definitely stages means in the case of the human life history, what are the stages which are appears? Infant stage, childhood stage, adulthood stage, old age. Definitely in our life history also we have to cross these 4 phases. Means after immediate birth, that is said to be as the infant stage. Up to 2 years, that is the infant stage. From 3rd year onwards to 11th year, that is the childhood. Again from the 13th year to 18th year, that is the teenage. From the 19th year onwards to 40 or 35 years, that is said to be as the adulthood. Later onwards, that is said to be as the old age. Means definitely in our life history also, we have to cross these 4 phases, 4 stages. Similarly, in the case of the entamoeba histolytica life cycle also, 3 principal stages are appears. In the entamoeba histolytica life history also, that have to be processed through 3 stages, like that of our stages. What are the 3 stages means? One is the trophozoite stage. Second one is the free cystic stage. Third one is the cystic stage. Definitely in the life history of entamoeba histolytica also, entamoeba histolytica passes through 3 stages, like that of our life cycle. Definitely in the case of the human life cycle also, we have to process through infant stage, childhood stage, teenage, adult stage, old age. Like that way, in the entamoeba histolytica life cycle also, 3 principal phases are appears. One is the trophozoite stage, that is the first stage. Second, free cystic stage. Third one is the cystic stage. Of that first one is the trophozoite stage. Definitely trophozoite stage is most active form. This is the most active form of this stage. It is the motile form. Motile means a vigorous movement. Definitely this form of the trophozoite, this trophozoite shows the rapid movement. It can be shows the rapid locomotion. So that only this is said to be as the motile. Motile means movement. It shows the movement. So that is the motile form. It is the feeding stage. It is the feeding form. Definitely, trophozoite stage feeds on the content of the large intestine. In our body, definitely trophozoite stage feeds on the content of the large intestine. So that only this is said to be as the feeding form or the feeding stage. It is the feeding stage. It is the pathogenic. It is the pathogenic form. It is the pathogenic stage. Means trophozoite is responsible for damage of the large intestine. Trophozoite is responsible for the damage of the large intestinal wall, for feeding on the content of the large intestinal wall. So that only definitely that cause the disease. Definitely, whenever our large intestinal wall gets damaged, automatically that leads to the severe abdominal pain. That leads to the amoebiasis disease. In that way, trophozoite is reason for development of the disease. Trophozoite stage is responsible for cause of the disease. So that only it is said to be as the pathogenic form. Pathogenic means disease. Patho means disease. Genic means causes. This trophozoite stage is responsible for the cause of the disease in our body. So that is the trophozoite stage. That is the pathogenic stage, because trophozoite stage secrete histolysine enzyme. Trophozoite stage secrete the histolysine enzyme for dissolving of the large intestinal wall, for feeding on the content of the large intestinal wall. So that only definitely it damages the large intestinal wall. For example, just assume this is the alimentary canal of the human. This is the human alimentary canal. In this case, this is said to be as the large intestine. This is the large intestine. This is the large intestine. In the case of the large intestine, in large intestinal wall, 4 layers are present like this. Not only in the case of the large intestinal wall, from the esophagus onwards to large intestinal wall, in all areas 4 layers are present. Outermost layer is said to be as the serosa, definitely from the alimentary canal. From esophagus to the rectum, in all areas in the wall of the alimentary canal, 4 distinct layers are present. Outer wall is said to be as the serosa. Next, second layer is muscularis. Next, third layer is the submucosa. Last layer is the mucosa. This is the mucosa. Definitely this layer, first layer is the mucosa. This is the submucosa. This is muscularis. This is serosa. In large intestinal wall also 4 distinct layers are present. This outermost layer is the serosa. Below to that whatever the layer is present, that is the muscularis. Below to that submucosa. Below to that mucosa. Definitely whenever the entamoeba histolytica trophozoite is reaches to, entamoeba histolytica trophozoite stage reaches to large intestine, this is said to be as the lumen of the large intestine. This is the lumen of large intestine. At first trophozoite stage of Entamoeba histolytica reaches to the lumen of large intestine. Later, this trophozoite releases histolysin enzyme onto the walls of large intestine. This trophozoite stage starts secreting histolysin enzyme onto the walls of the large intestine. By that way, at first mucosa membrane gets dissolved. Mucosa membrane is at first dissolved or damaged. Later, submucosa is also gets dissolved like this. Definitely, this trophozoite of Entamoeba histolytica at first secrete histolysin enzyme onto the walls of the large intestine at first. By that way, at first mucosa membrane gets damaged or dissolved. Secondly, submucosa membrane gets dissolved or damaged. Later, this trophozoite finally reaches to the submucosa. From the lumen of large intestine, this trophozoite later reaches to the submucosa of large intestine. So definitely, whenever the trophozoite secrete the histolysin, whenever the mucosa and submucosas are damaged, mucosa submucosas are gets dissolved. During that, blood vessels which are present in the mucosa submucosa also gets dissolved. Blood vessels which are present in the mucosa and submucosa layers also gets dissolved. By that way, blood is oozes. Blood vessels of the mucosa submucosa also ruptured. By that way, from that blood vessel, blood is started to flow out. Blood is started to move out into this space, into the lumen of the large intestine also. That blood is ingested. The blood which is comes out from damaged blood vessels of mucosa and submucosa, that blood is ingested by the trophozoite stage. Definitely, trophozoite stage feeds on the blood of the human. Trophozoite stage principally feeds on the blood of the human. Means how that kind of the blood is available to the trophozoite means, at first this trophozoite secrete histolysin enzyme onto the mucosa and submucosa of large intestinal wall. That histolysin damages mucosa and submucosa of large intestine. By that way, during that, blood vessels which are present in the mucosa submucosa also ruptured. By that way, from that blood vessel, this blood is releases into this space. Along with blood is releases into this space, and from this space blood is later entered into the lumen of the large intestine also. In that way, whatever the blood which is comes out through ruptured blood vessel, that is eaten, that is feeded by this trophozoite. In this case, the mode of ingestion of blood by the trophozoite is said to be as the holozoic nutrition. What is the meaning of the holozoic nutrition? Means trophozoite as it is ingest the blood along with the RBC, along with the WBC, along with the platelet. Definitely, trophozoite ingest this RBC, WBC platelets which are present in the blood completely. So that is said to be as the holozoic nutrition. Definitely trophozoite after entering into the mucosa, submucosa of large intestine, this trophozoite starts feeding on the blood, only liquid part of the blood. It also ingests RBC, WBC platelets also as whole. So that only that is said to be as the holozoic nutrition. At the same time, during the rupturing of mucosa, submucosa, whatever the cellular debris, what is the meaning of this cellular debris? Damaged tissues. Damaged tissues are said to be as the cellular debris. Whenever the histolysine damages submucosa and mucosa of large intestine, the damaged tissues are said to be as the cellular debris. That cellular debris also eaten by the trophozoite stage. At the same time, in the large intestine, E. coli bacteria is also present in the human. In the large intestine, E. coli bacteria is also present. E. coli bacteria, Escherichia coli, that is the E. coli bacteria is also present in the large intestine. That E. coli bacteria is also eaten by the trophozoite. Definitely in the large intestinal wall, this trophozoite feeds on the blood, this trophozoite feeds on the bacteria, this trophozoite feeds on the cellular debris also. So that only it is said to be as the feeding stage. It is the feeding form. Again, due to the damage of the submucosa and mucosa of large intestine, that leads to the amoebiasis disease. Due to the damage of the submucosa and mucosa, due to the rupturing of the blood vessel, finally that leads to a disease that is said to be as the amoebiasis disease. So that only trophozoite stage is said to be as the pathogenic form. It is responsible for the development of the amoebiasis disease. So that only it is said to be as the pathogenic form. Again, when we observe the trophozoite stage, what is the structure of trophozoite? What is the structure of trophozoite stage means? What is the structure of this trophozoite stage means? Trophozoite stage is with oval shape. It is with oval shape. It is with a pseudopodia. This is the pseudopodia. This is the pseudopodia. Specifically, it is the lobopodia type. That is the single. So, what is the meaning of this pseudopodia means? Outgrowth which is formed from the trophozoite. Outgrowth which is formed from the trophozoite, which is look like as the finger, which may be useful in movement like that of our foot. That structure is said to be as the pseudopodia. Definitely it is look like as a finger, like that of a finger. It is look like. It is principally useful to carry out the movement of entamoeba like that of our foot. So that only it is said to be as the pseudopodia. It is the lobopodia type. Lobopodia type means if it is blunt, not pointed, the tip of the pseudopodia, if it is blunt, like this, not like this is said to be as the pointed, but this is said to be as the blunt. Definitely, tip of the pseudopodia means this is the tip of the pseudopodia. Tip of the pseudopodia, if it is blunt but not pointed, then that is said to be as the lobopodia. If pseudopodia is finger-like and blunt, if it is finger-like, if it is blunt, then we can say that is the lobopodia type. Definitely this pseudopodia is like that of a finger. It is like that of a finger. Its tip is blunt or rounded but not pointed. So that only it is said to be as the lobopodia type of the pseudopodia. Again, definitely this trophozoite is covered with a membrane. That membrane is said to be as the plasma lemma. Around to the body of the trophozoite, whatever the membrane which is present, that is said to be as the plasma lemma. That is said to be as the plasma lemma. Below to the plasma lemma, cytoplasm which is present. Cytoplasm which is present, that cytoplasm is differentiated into the two regions. Below to the plasma lemma cytoplasm which is present, that is differentiated into two types. Outer cytoplasm which is present, that is said to be as the ectoplasm. Outer cytoplasm which is present, that is said to be as the ectoplasm. This is said to be as the ectoplasm. Innerly, whatever the cytoplasm which is present, that is said to be as the endoplasm. This is said to be as the endoplasm. Innerly, whatever the cytoplasm is present, that is said to be as the endoplasm. Outerly, whatever the cytoplasm which is present, that is said to be as the ectoplasm. Definitely, ectoplasm is clear. It is non-granular. Definitely it is clear means here stickiness is not appears. Sticky nature is not there. It is very clear, very in purified state. Definitely it is without protein, without sticky substances. So that is said to be as the, it is clear. It is non-granular. Definitely here proteins are absent. Non-granular means proteins are absent, but in the case of the endoplasm, it is fluid-like, it is colloidal, it is granular. Means what? Definitely endoplasm is with sticky nature, it is with semi-solid nature. Colloidal, nothing but semi-solid. Colloidal, nothing but semi-solid. It is with the protein. Granular means proteins. Definitely endoplasm which is present. Endoplasm is fluid-like, means that is sticky or that is glue-like. Again, that is with the semi-solid nature. That is said to be as the colloidal. That is rich with protein, that is said to be as the granular. Again, in the case of the endoplasm, What are the structures which are present means, in the case of the endoplasm, specialized nucleus is present. Specialized nucleus is present in the case of the endoplasm. That specialized nucleus is said to be as the cortical nucleus. Cortical shaped nucleus. Definitely this is look like as the wheel. This is look like as the wheel. So that only that is said to be as the cortical nucleus. Again, this is said to be as the cortical. This is look like as the cortical shape. So that only definitely this is the cortical nucleus. In addition to that, this is the food vacuole which is with the RBC. In the case of the food vacuole, RBCs are present and bacteria also present in the case of the food vacuole. Definitely in the case of the food vacuole, bacteria is also present, RBC is also present, because trophozoite always feeds on the E. coli bacteria. Trophozoite always feeds on the blood of the person. So that only in the food vacuole, RBC as well as the bacteria are present. This is said to be as the food vacuole. This is said to be as the food vacuole, that is with RBC. Definitely, how we can confirm, how we can diagnose whether the person is infected with entamoeba or not means by observing cortical shaped nucleus in trophozoite, by observing RBCs in the food vacuole, we finally confirm whether this person is infected with entamoeba or not. Definitely, cortical nucleus and RBC in food vacuole are the characteristic features of the trophozoite. Cortical shaped nucleus and food vacuole with RBC are the characteristic features of the trophozoite. By recognizing them, by diagnosing them, finally we can confirm whether the person is infected with entamoeba or not. In addition to that, definitely ribosomes are present. This is said to be as the ribosomes. Ribosomes also present in the cytoplasm. Then what are the structures which are absent in the case of the trophozoite? What are the structures which may be absent means, one is the contractile. Contractile vacuole is absent. Mitochondria are absent. Golgi complex is absent. Endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum also absent. Definitely these are absent in trophozoite of Entamoeba histolytica. In the Entamoeba histolytica trophozoite, contractile vacuole is absent. What is the use of the contractile vacuole in protozoan? That acts as a kidney. That is acts as the kidney that is useful to maintain the constant water level in protozoan body. Definitely in our body, to maintain the constant water level, kidneys are useful. But in the protozoan's body, kidneys are not there. Contractile vacuoles are present in protozoan's body to maintain the constant water level. But in Entamoeba histolytica, that contractile vacuoles are absent. Mitochondria is also absent, because Entamoeba histolytica never perform aerobic respiration. Even though oxygen is available, that perform the anaerobic respiration only. So that only Entamoeba is said to be as the obligatory anaerobe, because always Entamoeba histolytica perform only anaerobic respiration, even though oxygen is available, that perform the anaerobic respiration only. So that only that is said to be as the obligatory anaerobe. Because of due to the absence of mitochondria, this Entamoeba histolytica is not able to perform the aerobic respiration, that always perform the anaerobic respiration only. Again, Golgi complex and endoplasmic reticulums also absent. Definitely contractile vacuole, mitochondria, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulums are absent in Entamoeba histolytica in trophozoite.